Do you ever get tired of missing support emails or responding late to your customers and clients? We all know that the quicker you get back to your customer and clients, the happier you can make them. If you're ever having issues where you're missing the emails because you're not always checking your email, because let's be real, who checks their email all day constantly? But we do check Slack a lot of times. So if you're in your Slack channel, your team's in your Slack, how about we set up an automation to get your team notified when a new support email comes in? And then from there, also, it might be a long email, but let's also have a summary with it. And let's also keep the Slack clean at the same time. So in this video, if you want to be able to see how to take your incoming support emails, send them over to Slack to get notified and have a summary of each one, then stick around and let's get into building this out. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna head over here to make.com. I'm using make.com for this automation. You can use Zapier, you can use other ones out there, but my opinion, make.com is the best one and it's the cheapest and I just think it's the best. Anyways, so here's the simple automation that we're gonna use. The way this starts is it uses the Gmail app, so it checks to see every time there's a new incoming email. Then it's going to go to ChatGPT and it's going to summarize it. Then it's going to create a message in Slack, and then it's going to create a thread in that Slack message. So it's going to create the message with a summary to make it short and simple. And then the thread, the reply, is what's going to have the full body message. So let me show you how that's going to look. So I'll pull my Slack over here and I just made this channel here, automation testing. For example, we'll have an email like this that'll come in and we'll have it say from, your name and email. We'll have the subject and then we'll have a summary created by ChatGPT and I have it with any pertinent information. Then I have a link to the email so you can click on it and it takes you right to the email and then reply back a lot easier and quicker. So there's that. And we also have, let me go back. And then I have in the reply here, if you click on this, it's going to open up the thread. And this is where the full body email is going to be so that you can see the full email. All right, that's an overview of how it's going to work. Now let's actually go and build this out. All right, so first thing we're going to come over and we're going to create a new scenario in Make. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to type in Gmail. Whoops, if I can type. We're going to select Gmail. And then from here, we're going to do watch emails. Now, the thing about this one is it's set up so the way Gmail, and you can also do Outlook as well. There's Outlook in here. Now, if you have another email client, then you can do it other ways as well. And I'm going to show you that also in this video. But this is the simplest way. You can just go and connect Gmail. Now, most people use Gmail, Google Workspace. And what you're going to do is if you don't already have a connection, you'll click on Add. And then here you can name your connection. Click on Sign with Google, bring a pop-up, and you just make sure you sign into your Google account. Now, if you want to use a Gmail account, it's a little bit harder to do because Google really doesn't like that, but you can. And right here it says using a personal Google account. You have to follow this guide, click on this link, open up the help doc. There's extra additional steps you have to do to get this to work. But most time, you're probably here have a business email, so that's what we're going to be using. All right, so I've already made the connection right up here. So now this is the connection. So what we're going to do is the folder is first thing you're going to choose. So the bold or the little asterisk is anytime it's a required value in Make. So from here, if you have different filters set up in Google then or Gmail, you can then choose that. You can do just the inbox, all mail, but we're going to choose, say, just the inbox now. So all incoming emails will then run through this. Different filters types. There's simple filter and there's Gmail filter. And this is going to be a little bit more advanced here because you have to type in you can go get the filter from within Gmail and copy and paste it here. But easy enough, just a simple filter. And then here we will say, let's just do all emails. So all emails that come into the inbox, doesn't matter if it's read or unread, this is what's going to happen. Now, the next thing is you can mark the emails as read when fetched. So that means once this scenario runs, what it'll do, it'll mark the email as read, so it's not unread in your inbox. That's going to be up to you, depending on how you want to do that. Now, the maximum number of results. This is going to come into play on how often this runs. So let me show you that. When you click on OK here, it's going to say, where do you want to start? And we're just going to choose this for now. We can always change this later from now. The way it works in Make, there's a couple different ways of a scenario to run, and it depends. This is a clock, meaning that it's going to have to check Gmail to see if there's any new emails, as opposed to Gmail sending the information to Make. So if you see a lightning bolt, that means the end software sends the information whenever there's an update. If you see a clock, that means Make has to go and check every once in a while in that software to see if there's any new updates. because it's not in here for the immediate. So if that's the case, or since for Gmail that's the case, you're going to want to see how often do you want this to run. If you choose every 15 minutes, which is by default, then what that's going to do is, so there's how many 15-minute periods in an hour? Okay, so there's 4, right? So 15 times 4, and then how many hours in a day? Times 24. At minimum, this is going to be 1,440 operations from your Make account. So if you lower this down, it's going to be more operations. And if you're on, say, the lowest plan of 10,000 a month, you'll hit that fairly quickly in about 10 days. There's other ways that you can reduce this down. One, you can do every 30 minutes, you can do every 60 minutes, but then that kind of comes into the whole fact of I want to speed to lead. All right. Well, true. What you can do is advanced scheduling. This is one option. You can come down here, and since you're probably not going to be checking emails at, say, 2 in the morning, maybe you just run this from, let's do, say, 7 a.m. to, let's do, whenever you stop wanting to check your emails, say 6 p.m. And now that is only going to be, so it's 6 plus 5, that's 12 hours, or 11 hours. So it's only 11 hours. So now that's going to be less. So if we do, instead of 24, we do 11. Now it's only 660 operations. All right, so that's how you can adjust that. And then you can always remove, say, Saturday and Sunday, maybe just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you have options that way. And then so this way it'll run Monday through Friday, 7 to 6. And if any other emails come in, we're going to say not now. Any other emails come in, say on the weekends or in the middle of the night, it's just going to hold as a backlog, and then they'll all run at 7 a.m. that next day. All right. So that's how that works, and that's how you can minimize your operations. Now, there's also another way we can do this, and what we're going to do, let me just save this. We're going to set up a different way that can actually trigger every time an email does come in to be instant. And so this is the simple way to do it, but here's another. This one's not too hard either, but just takes a couple extra steps. So we're going to click on Add. We're going to type in webhook. You may be saying, webhook? I thought that was a link. How can that work? True, but there's another thing called a custom mail hook. So we're going to do a mail hook. You click on that. Now we're going to have to make this start over here. So now you see there's a lightning bolt. That means Make is waiting for any updates in the software, aka wherever this email is coming from. Then it's going to run immediately. We don't need this anymore for this scenario, so we're going to delete that. And now we have our custom webhook, or actually custom mail hook here. Let's open this up and let's go ahead and add a mail hook. So click on Add, name it whatever you want. Let's just do support testing, something like that. Whatever, your own personal naming. Click Save. Now you have not a link, but you have an email address. So I'm going to copy to clipboard, click OK. Let's go ahead and save this. And now let's go over to our Gmail. So in Gmail here, what you're going to do is you're going to click on Settings, and you're going to see all settings. Now we're going to go over to the forward. So forwarding and pop. A couple different things you can do. We can either forward a copy of incoming mail to, but first you're going to have to add a forwarding address. So if we keep that off for now, we'll click add a forwarding address. We're going to paste that forwarding address in here, and we'll click next. So now we need to verify it on the phone, all the two-factor authentication thing, open my YouTube app. Yes, it was me. It was 61, so we'll do that. And now I'll come over here. Okay, so now it's going to say, do you want to proceed? Yes, proceed. Okay, so now a confirmation link has been sent to that email address. So we'll click OK. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come back to our Make scenario here. And so an email has been sent to wherever that forwarding is, which is in our case, this mail hook. So now we can click on Run Once. Use existing data because the emails came in. So now here's our one email. So we click on this, and then we go over to the text. We're going to see blah, blah, blah has requested an automatic forwarding to your mail address. To allow this, please click the link below to confirm. Well, you can't click this. It's not a clickable link. So we're going to highlight this, I'm going to copy it, go over to a new tab. We're going to paste it in. Then here, confirmation. Please confirm that you want to forward emails to that email address. Click confirm. Confirmation success. Okay, I'm going to close that up. Let's go back to our email here. And now it says verify. So let's just go ahead and refresh the page since I did just verify it. Okay, so now we have in the forwarding here. Now a couple different things you can do. If you want to forward, say, every email that's coming in, say this is your support inbox and all these emails coming in you want to forward, then you can forward a copy of incoming mail to, and then this will, again, we'll paste in, oops, not that one. We can come back here and we can do this. I'll copy that again. All right, so we'll paste that in. And now what that's going to do is every time, this is for every incoming email, it's going to get forwarded to that make scenario. Come down and you click on save. But that's one way to do it. I think maybe you don't want to do every email. So we can click on disable forwarding. And what we can do is it says you can also forward some of your mail by creating a filter. So we can create a filter. Now this is going to depend on how your email is set up. If you have specific inbox, but then you maybe have an alias in there, you can say to. So for example, let's give you an example here. This one is my Aaron@clicklaunch.ai. But maybe I don't have a support email set up, but people can still email that. So I set up what's called an alias, another way of receiving email. So maybe I set up support@clicklaunch.ai. So what this is going to do now, if I set up this alias, meaning this one inbox can also receive other emails, then now all of this, I can create a filter and just forward these emails over to make for that to work. Or you maybe have some other ways of distinguishing what's a support email versus not. Maybe it has certain words. Maybe you teach your clients to put a certain word in there. Probably not. Maybe it's a subject line. A bunch of different ways. So we're just gonna go with the simple way for now. You can adjust the filters as you want, but we're gonna do this. Just forward a copy of incoming mail to that email address. And then you have another option here. Keep ClickLaunch mails copy in the inbox, mark it as read, archive it, or delete it, whatever you want. For this test here, I'm just going to keep it in the inbox. When you're done with that, scroll down, click on save, and now it's saved. So now every new email that comes in is going to, one, it'll stay in here, but it's also going to get forwarded to my mail hook here. So we'll click OK. Let's just save it again. I always like to save. Now if we back out here, we can see, so there's nothing in queue. We can also right click here, we can show queue, and there's no data in queue. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna forward an email to this mail hook so that we can see. Now I'm gonna add in one of my testing steps. We're gonna add another one, HTTP, get a file, put this here. Again, this is just for testing. If I click into this, the quickest thing to do is I'll just come over to the gear icon, select execution ID, which is just a set of numbers, not a URL, so it's gonna cause it to fail. That's the way I test. And then we're done, we're gonna delete this. So that's how I do that. All right, let me just save this. Now I'm not gonna click run once because I want the queue to be held within here. You'll see in a minute if you haven't seen my other videos. Now I'm gonna grab my other email account over here and I'm gonna send an email. Let's just copy this one that I've already done. We'll send it again, compose, put that in here, change up a little bit. Doesn't really matter. Help, can't log in. And then we're going to send it to my email address. That is the one, that email account is like the support one. And then we're going to come down here and actually, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to click on send. All right, so bring this back. And now let's go over into here. So if we wait a second, actually, if we right click on here and we go to show queue, okay, so it hasn't come in yet. So it takes a second. Let's click in here again. Let's see, show queue. There we go. Now it came in. You also click on details here. You can see all the details about it. This is who it came from, which is me. So this is my email I just sent. See the hey right here. But don't worry about this. We're going to back out here. We're going to back again. And we're going to go, now you see there's one record in queue. So what we can do, click into here. Now we have our scenario with the one record in queue. And if I did not have this, if I had this disconnected and I ran it, it'd be a success. And that queue, that packet of information would then be gone and I wouldn't be able to use it again unless I forwarded another email. To get around that, I connect this to cause it to break and that queue stays in there. So when it's connected, now we're going to click on run once, use existing data. And so that this one was a success. Now this one was a failure. And that means that queue is still in here and we can run it again. If you look, here's all the information we got. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a summary of that. So now we're going to add in, we're going to go with ChatGPT. So we're going to add, we're going to do ChatGPT. Now you can do Claude as well. You can probably even do Perplexity, but everybody knows ChatGPT mostly. So we're going to do that one. ChatGPT, and then we're going to come down here to create a completion. We're going to do create a completion, and drag it over here. And now we're going to open this up. And if you haven't connected ChatGPT yet, I'm going to show you how to get that connection here. So let's create a new connection. Let's click on add and then name it what you want. I'll say YouTube testing. Now we need the API key. So the way you get the API key is, I think if you just click on this, Yeah, it'll open this up, or you can just go to platform.openai.com, and then you're gonna be brought to the API keys, but that brings you right here. Then you go to API keys down here, and now this is where you can create an API key. If you already don't have an OpenAI account, you'll have to create one first, then you'll get into the platform section here, and then you'll click on create new secret key. Name this what you want. Let's do YouTube testing. Just leave it, and you can create different projects. Don't worry about that for now. We're gonna click create secret key. Now what you want to do is you need to save the secret key, because this will, once you click done, you won't be able to see it again. So copy this, save it somewhere, and I'm going to save it over here on my notepad. All right, so it's saved. Now we'll go and click on done, and now that is there. So we have that API key. Let's go back into here. Let's paste that API key in, and let's click on save. All right, so now that we've made the connection, next thing we're going to do is select the method. Just keep it on this one because you don't want to do legacy, you want to do the latest one. And then the model. In this case, this is just a summary of an email, so this is the simplest one. And at the time of this recording, December 2nd, 2024, use O1, that's really expensive. You don't need it for a simple summary. You don't need that one. We don't. And then GPT 4.0. Again, you could use 4.0, but an even cheaper one right now is GPT 4.0 mini system. So select this one, just a simpler version of GPT 4.0, but for a summary, simple enough. All right, next we need to add the message in. So let's add a message, and then the role in this case, so there's three different here: system, user, and assistant. For this one, we're going to add in the system. Again, it's not a huge system or automation we're doing, so I don't need necessarily a system prompt in all three of these, but we'll do assistant. So assistant is what are your instructions, and then the user are what's the input, as you say typing in ChatGPT. So for the assistant, I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to grab my prompt that I made, and I'll share with you what it is. But let's grab it from this one. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come back over here, paste this in. So this prompt here that I made, it's a very simple prompt. Provide a short summary of the following email and highlight any pertinent information, only if applicable. All right. Strictly use the following Slack Markdown formatting. So Markdown is a way to make the certain, if we go back here and we show to make this is bold, or to make something underlined, or the other one is what, strike through. So you put the star to make it bold, underline to italics, and squiggly to do strike through. So I'm saying use Slack Markdown because before when I was testing it, I would say use Markdown, but Slack doesn't do double star, whereas some other Markdown softwares do. And so it kept doing that and it was not working. So I gave it actually the Slack specific Markdown information. As I said, strictly use Slack Markdown. Next, use the following structure. If there is pertinent information, and then it's summary, and then the email body, and then pertinent information. Use the following structure, and then if there is not pertinent information, so then just the summary. So what I mean by that, if I come over here, in this one, as we see here, let's move this over. So we have star, summary, and then summary. So that's this, and then here's the summary, and then pertinent information, and then pertinent information here. All right. If it was just a very simple thing of, hey, what's that link? Well, then that's not really pertinent information, and then you wouldn't need this section here. All right. So we got that. Basically, I just gave it two different structures to follow. And now the next thing, we need to add another message. We need the actual input. So the input is going to be the user, what you are putting in, or where it's coming from. So we're going to choose from the webhook, the email content. And so if we go to text, that is going to be what the email was. Hey, I can't seem to find my login details. So that's the input. And now we're going to scroll down. You can mess with the tokens. The lower you do, the shorter the message should be. I also could cut the message off. I usually just leave it at that, depending on what my use case is. Maybe I'll raise it up if I need a bigger summary or for other use cases of OpenAI. So we'll click OK. And then we got that. Next, we're going to, I can add Slack in next, but let's just run this once to show the output. So let's go ahead and, again, why keep this? Because we can keep using this same information. So let's run once. You use existing data. Again, it failed. Now let's look at the output here. The output, the result. Summary, Bob's unable to find his login details, having trouble, pertinent information, Bob is experiencing issues, interested in learning about current offers. So that's the output we have. Now we want to add it into Slack. So let's go and add Slack. Let's go down to create a message, put that over here. If you need to add Slack, you'll click on the add button, choose your connection type, either user or come over as a bot. And then again, it'll just have you log into Slack on your browser. Pretty simple. So I'm going to keep this the way it is, and I'm going to already have that connection. Now I'm going to choose a channel. You can either enter it manually. I like to select from the list. So this one here, this automation testing, is a public channel. So public channel, I'm going to go down and find automation testing. Now in the text, what I want to do in the text here is I want to put, let's do from, put a star in. So I want that to be bolded, from star. And then we're going to put the name. I like to do in parentheses his email address, their email address. Okay. Next, I'm going to do the subject there. And then we're going to choose the subject. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a summary like this, because that's what the output here was. Remember the output here, the result. So we're just going to take that and we're going to use the result. The other thing I like to add in a link to the email so that it's easier for the user to get to. So that's pretty simple. Do a new line. I like to do, say, these 3 lines here, separated out at the end of the email. And then we'll say link, and then click here and let's find the link. That'll be down here at the bottom. Where was it? All right, so I just remembered you actually can't do, let's see. No, it's not going to be in here. So I just realized, or just remembered, that you actually can't get the link to the email from here. It doesn't send over the link. Let's take a look. This one is from, hey. So we come back here. Hey, yep. So this would normally be the link up here, inbox FMFCGZ. I don't think that's over here. Let's take a look. I'm looking for that anywhere. I don't see it. So I guess, nope. All right. So I guess in this case, if you're doing it this way, you can't get a link to the email. But again, not a huge deal. What you can do is you can always just, if you wanted to, just take this link, not including the ending part here, and then you can say, add that in. So at least they can get to the inbox quicker. Sure. So you can do that. And then we'll click on OK. And now what we want to do is we want to put the actual full body of the email as a thread. So we're going to add in another Slack message, Slack, create a message, put that one here. Now, in this case, this time we're going to enter manually. And then from here, we're going to get the channel. So this channel right here is the channel ID of the first Slack message. So we got that. And then now we need the text here. So the text, what we're going to do, pretty simple. I'm just going to put star, body, another star, and then on the next line, I'm going to come back to our mail hook here. I'm going to select the text here. So that'll be the full body of the email. Now the next thing is to make it a thread, a reply to that first message. Click on Show Advanced Settings, scroll down here to the thread message ID, and this is looking for the timestamp. So if we click in here, we're going to get the timestamp of that previous message. We'll do that, and then don't need to do anything else. Oh, make sure Markdown is checked yes. Otherwise, those stars they'll show up as stars and not actually bold. And you can change the emoji icon, the username, maybe do support email, something like that. You can put an emoji icon in there. I like doing that sometimes too. So let's just do this. Show you how to do that. I like to go to the emoji here and let's do, say, email. And this one, as we see at the bottom here, it's email, e-mail, e-mail, and you see it's already coming up. So I'll just copy this, come back into here, put that in there, and I'll put the last colon, and we will then click OK. And now let's go ahead and test this out. We'll click on Run Once, use existing data, summarizing it, creates the message, creates the follow-up message, and then failed. Good, that's what we wanted. So now let's bring our Slack message over, our Slack over here. So now we have, just came through, from Bob Smith, email, subject, help can't log in. Bob is having trouble accessing his account due to lost details, password attempt, he suspects might be old computer, yada, yada, yada. Further information, Bob needs help accessing his account. He's interested in learning more about the current offers. And then here's a link. And then here's that one reply. So if we click on that one, here is the actual email. Hey, can't seem to log in, blah, 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 blah. You have all the email there. And you also might have noticed that my profile picture is still there and my name, where we actually put the icon in and change. I just remember the reason for that is because I send this over as a user and not a bot. So let me show you the difference. We come back over here and we go back into Slack. So right now this is connected as me as a user. But sometimes I want to send message over as a bot. What I'll do is I'll click on add. This time we're going to select a Slack bot. And I'm just going to call this, I'll say click launch. And I'll say, no, it's connected to my profile. And we'll do bot, something like that. So now I know this one is a bot. Click save. It's going to have us log in to confirm it. Over here, make sure to connect on the correct one, and then the correct Slack account, workspace, then click OK or allow. Verify connection. Okay, now that is connected. Okay, so now that this is bot, now we're going to scroll down, and of course we have to turn this on again. Show advanced settings. Scroll down, and then everything should be the same. Use Markdown, yes. So then username, what do we say? Support email, and then over here it was :e-mail, again. And so we'll click OK. Now we're going to do the same thing with this one. Come over here, change this one to bot. And then we'll come down, message ID. All right, so this one stayed. That's weird. And click OK. So we'll save that. Now let's run this again. Existing data. Back it over, open up Slack. So we're going to scroll down here. Now it says support email. We have the emoji icon here. And then we have all that information. And we click over here and support email icon. So that's how you can have the different icons over here, support email or whatever you want it to say. Just, I think it makes it look a little bit cleaner and look a little bit more easier on the eyes. So maybe we're scrolling through in a Slack and if there's different messages going in here, you can quickly see, oh, there's a support email. This one was something else. Maybe somebody else typed something, a user. So that's how you can distinguish that. So that's how you can get an email with a threaded email in your Slack. And the reason why I did the full email over here, because what if this person typed up a full length, had a bunch of links and all this other crap in there, then it would make your main thread of your Slack very busy. And this is the way it keeps them nice and tight and neatly organized. So you can see here the summary, read the full one if you want, click the link, get to the email, go back and reply to them, and then increase your customer service. Because what this is going to do is the email is going to come in immediately, or this Slack message will come in immediately as soon as an email comes in if you use the mail hook method. If you do the other method, then that is going to check for new emails every so often, either Google, Outlook, or some other mail clients. But mainly, this would be probably the one that you're going to want to use. We're almost done with this. You can go and rename each of these steps if you want. You can say rename summarizer. You can sometimes like to name this what the Slack channel is. So I'll do pound automation testing. Same thing, actually. And we'll rename this one as well. Sometimes I like to do this just then you can easily see what channel it is. And then we don't need this anymore, so we can delete this. I would like to finish it with auto align. Makes it look a little better. And then up here, I'll name what we want. Say support email to Slack. I can't type. To Slack. And then I should say it one more time. Now when you're done here, we'll just click on turn it on. And then if you click on process all data, then it'll send that message and the other message that came through. And then this is how we set up for immediate. Okay, now it's set up to run, and it will just run continuously whenever an email comes in. That is how you set that up. All right, hopefully that was helpful and that made sense. And now you can quickly get notified when you have a new support email coming in, or just any type of email. You can really customize this for whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be support emails. Maybe you just want other emails coming in and just summarize them every time they come into Slack. So you have to check your email. A number of different things you can do with this. Set up different filters in your email. Only maybe say newsletters come in and then get a summary of them. So you don't have to read the whole thing. Bunch of different things you can do. This is just the start of it. So hope you learned something. And if you like that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel here. Give it a thumbs up. It'd greatly appreciated. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. And with that being said, I will see you on the next video.